Om Swastiastu. My name is Dewa Agung Aris Andiani. I'm from 3PBI class and I want to explain about my material, namely Education Management Theory. Definition of management. Management comes from the Latin word manus, which means hard, agree, which means to do, and combination into agree, which means to do hard something organizing might something as deserve be intelligent at reconciliation, accenting reconciliation management in the are now centers in the systematic combination and recording of data and information, with the aim of providing information and making in the action to later phases is as how in relation to another. According to the author, management is the sciences and art to organizing, controlling, communication, and analyzing a conscious access meeting within the organization be analyzing management function. Definition of education. Education is the learning of knowledge, skill, and habit of the group of people that are passed down from one generation to the next or teaching, training, or research. Education order take place under the guidance of the order, but it is also pursued to safeguard. The etymology of the word education itself comes from the Latin ducere, which means to guide, risk, or learn, and the prefixes, which meant to come out. So education means learning out, activity and expression that has formative effects on the way people think, feel, or act can be considered education. So education management is an activity or series of activities in the form of a collaborative business management process of a group of people who are members of an education organization to achieve predetermined educational goals, be encouraging exciting reconciliation, and using management functioning in order to access goal effectively and management function. Education management function are the basic elements that will always exist in education that will be used as the references be management in neighbors carrying out education activities to achieve activity and effective goals. There are four education, namely planning, organizing, implementation, and controlling. Education theory 1. Behavior. Behavior is the based on observable behavior change. Therefore, is school tedious to explain in learning how an informant increases behavior change. 2. This school of cognitive explain how learning occurs and authority explain the internal mental activities which us from in the flow of cognitive is the more connected with the learning process that the learning outcomes themselves. 3. Constructive. In constructive view is very important the role of student to be able to build a cognitive hierarchy of meaning so that students have the habit of thinking them. Humanistic learning theory in the short Sukarjo concludes that the humanistic approach in the education emphasizes positive development and approach that focuses on human potential to check and discover the abilities that have and develop their abilities. In the humanistic theories, learning is considered successful in the learner understand his environment and himself. Management theory is a collection of ideas that recommend generation rules about how to manage an organization or business. Management theory discusses how supervisor implements strategy to achieve organizational goal and how that motivation employees to perform at the entire his ability. Supporting theory of education management. Classic theory. The classic theory is the scientific management pioneered by Frederick V. Taylor. The goals in the third application is maximum probability for the both employer and employees. Furthermore, the time study participant pioneered by Gibran stated that all productive efforts are measured by careful time study. Based on the time study theory yielded participant approach, namely that works given must be in accordance with the result, the amount of which is determined from the time study. Another classic pioneer, Henry Pioneer, stated that the three are management goals, namely planning, organizing, coordinating, and supervising. According to Fire, the main participants are 1. Analyzing of communicated, 2. Controlling moves the detection, alternative moves and owner be a management, and 4. Group solidarity. And Max Weber organizes that bureaucracy is a characteristic of the organizing. Petrus, how structure is made in a such as way that it can make maximum use to express. Robert Owner, he sent the roles of the workers as quite important as the community asset. Workers are not only an input but a significant community resource. He also improved working conditions. Owen argues by improving working conditions or investing in human resource competencies can increase output and profits. Owen argues that by improving working conditions or investing in the human resources competencies can increase output as well as profit. In the education, Owen also invested as open scoring system, and it is the current of every day. In a way, the management is the improved to be able to localize the problem quickly. Although this theory has advantages in the activating organization effectively, nowadays it is not widely developed because it is not larger in the accordance with the development of the increasingly global era. And the bedmass on classical theory are not larger, to benefit from the increasingly turbulent influences of globalization, so the not classic theory emerged. The weakness of the classic theory, according of finally Kerr and House in the Nanang Patah, are one classic theories in the time bar theory only sought to be applied at the beginning of the early 20th century, and this theory has one deterministic characteristic only emphasizes management preparation without taking into account in the diminution in neoclassic theory. This theory assessment the human are social character by a quality themselves first. The learner of this school stated that the excesses of the organizing is combination. Management can work infinitely and stay alive if the goals of the organizing and the method of individually are working. From stated that the discrimination between increases in expectation, reward, and significance of a situation in which explanation and values effect and quality of a person's work. A management must assess and consider and reward structure carefully through careful planning and prioritizing behavior. Behavior will show the effectiveness of the tasks that must be out the B management, even though it is the very complex field. And person behavior is the influenced by their variables, namely what individual variables including mental skill, physical, family background, social level, expresses again and gender, organization variables including resources. Modern theory has the view that organizing art open the complex system, analyzing system design and management, profit consequences in the operating the system approach with a determined element that seek to reconcile and access of the integration of various elements in solving complex problems, inclusive education. Development of theory. Management theory was organizing development we figures against in the business. In it is development management theory can be grouped into three, namely 1. Classic management theory, and 2. Neoclassic management theory, and 3. Modern management theory. The development of education management in Indonesia in the new order was marked by centralizing management. Then it is development in the reform era and development into decentralization of known as school-based management (SBM), which externally meant schools are given the authority to regulate art school activities. There is the line with the grading of authority from the central government to local government, regional autonomy. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it can be useful. And I'm closing video. Santi Santi Om.